how many lawyers did you and your publisher have to keep busy for this?
Well, let me say this. If I'm ever missing for more than 3 days, call Dick Cheney. That's the first. It's a wonderful question. So the publisher, Simon & Schuster, assigned a lawyer to this who read every word. Most of the lawyer's concerns were the typical concerns that any author would have or lawyer would have with an author in terms of naming places, any kind of potential infringement, protecting the publisher and me from any lawsuits. There were several occasions where they said, are you sure you can, talk about this? And since there's nothing in this book that in any way, shape, or form comes remotely close to anything that I heard that shouldn't report, there's no problem. Dick Cheney, he's a public figure. I'm a public figure. And you know what? Washington has to learn to laugh at itself because the rest of the world, the rest of the country laughs at us, so we have to learn to laugh at ourselves. But there were no issues with respect to lawyers and the briefings and the meetings that I went to. Now, we have a very rigorous ethics process in the House of Representatives. So those lawyers, that was different because members of Congress aren't permitted to accept advances. We have to be very scrupulous, dot every I, cross every T, to ensure that we're not violating any of the House ethics rules. And that was a separate legal process that was very long and, as it should be, very detailed. With the exception of the issue of Guantanamo, I haven't noticed large-scale changes in approach on issues like surveillance. In fact, there's a quote in the book by President Obama. Of course, I couldn't ascribe it to President Obama because he wasn't president in 2004. But there's a scene in the book. It's in that scene where Scooter Libby and Cheney are dealing. Well, let me read it to you, because the quote actually is from President Obama. I was at a meeting, an event with him, where he said this, and I wrote it down. This is after he learns all about Nick. Rove blew a long whistle from his lips and asked, "What's to stop this from spying on innocent Americans? Accidentally, I mean." Libby exhaled impatiently. "We take privacy rights very seriously. We have checks and balances, safeguards. This government does not spy on the American people." President Obama said that, and he said it a few months ago, responding to a question about the NSA.